New data is showing increasing numbers of mothers leaving the workforce. According to the University of Kansas, from January to June of this year, the participation rate of women in the workforce with a child under 5 fell nearly 3%. So let's bring in gender economist Katica Roy to break this down. Katica, thank you so much for being with us again. The last time we spoke, we were talking about 300,000 or so Black women who had left the workforce in 3 months. You told us then that that wasn't a choice. You say that this now, when we're looking at moms leaving the workforce, that this is not a personal choice, it's an economic one. So what are some of the biggest factors behind these really staggering numbers?
Well, one of the things that we know is that moms face really two things that stand in their way of progressing. They are both mommy track as well as the mom pay gap. So we know that they earn about 62 cents on the dollar of working dads. And so those gaps are actually pushing moms out of the labor force. And one of the things that we know is that when moms leave the labor force, families lose about $64 billion worth of income every year.
Wow. And according to the U.S. Department of Labor, families spend between 8.9% and 16% of their median income on full day care for just one child. It goes up from there. And depending on how many kids you have, where you live, I know very well as a mom of 3 how this impacts moms. But overall, talk to us about those impacts.
Yeah, so one of the things that we see is that there is an assumption about moms that they're less committed to their jobs because they're moms. And we know that that is false, that in fact, the most productive workers over the course of their careers are working moms. So when moms leave the labor force, we're not just losing workers, we're actually losing some of our top performers.
And we know that the lockdown from COVID-19, it really reshaped the workplace. 24% of Fortune 500 companies had full-time in-office requirements in the second quarter of 2025 compared to 13% at the end of 2024. How is that shift from remote to back in the office playing into all of this and these decisions to leave the workforce?
It's actually boxing moms out, right? So we know that the rollback of flexible work, the cuts of public jobs, as well as dismantling programs, is actually boxing moms out of the labor force at a time when we actually need more employees in the labor force. And one of the things that I just wanted to talk about quickly is that for every 1 percentage point drop in women's labor force participation, it's a 146 billion drop in GDP.
I'm glad that you pointed that out. Katica Roy, I love that you are a gender economist and you come able to talk about these very specific things and the way that women and men are impacted in the workforce differently and the trends that we're seeing. Thank you so much for that.